Well, hello everybody, and welcome back. If you're watching this video, you've probably seen a couple of the other ones, and I'm doing a thumbnail right now. I'm doing the sketches. I have an idea in mind for a thumbnail sketch for a YouTube video for the video game uh, Unbound Worlds Apart, and it's the final video, it's the finale, and I'm trying to come up with something pretty cool towards the end, where the main character becomes kind of what he has been fighting against. So he's going to be kind of become evil at the end, which, may give away part of the story, that, may give away some of the video, but, it's fine because it has a pretty good resolution. A bit sad, but it's pretty good. And as usual, I do like a small thumbnail. I don't do a whole lot of them typically because I have an idea in mind and I don't have a whole lot of time to actually go through a whole lot of variations. I just need to hurry up and bang something out, which, isn't the doesn't leave me with the best product, because normally when you're doing thumbnails, you want to do quite a few of them and just explore a bunch of interesting ideas, things that pop up to you, things that seem like you don't even want to draw sometimes become really good ideas. So it's a really good idea when you're doing thumbnails to do quite a few of them, actually. I guess I'm taking the quick, lazy route and just, basically going with one of the first ideas that pops in my head. Obviously, it's not the very first idea. I sit down and I think about it and I visualize it inside my head, and then I just run with something that seems appropriate to the thumbnail and may possibly grab attention. And I'm still learning and getting better myself. So over time, you guys are going to see me progress, most likely in my skill level and creativity. I'm certainly hoping. But right here, I'm just going to try to make this guy look like he's become the bad guy, basically. That's the very last episode. And you see there, I did a quick sketch. I followed through with what I kind of had in mind, but I really wanted to change things up, make it seem more, I don't know, fiery and ragged and interesting, like the wings on this guy. And I have a color scheme in mind, which basically goes along the line with what's actually in the video game. So I'm thinking of that while doing this. And I was going to make the wings more fiery, but then as I started to do it, I didn't want to put that much detail in a thumbnail. Not just for time's sake, but because I think a lot of that detail would be lost in translation anyways, because the thumbnails are usually so small that, you just gotta pick something and run with it. But as usual, I'm drawing my little potato character because that's the name of the video gaming channel, is Potato. And gotta run with the theme, I guess. So I'm just going into Krita and I'm doing my typical line work that I start out with. I mean, if I was doing actual, like, really nice artwork, I probably wouldn't use lines so much, but for my video thumbnails, I think that's the way to go. I may change it up at some point, but I kind of like doing lines. It's always been something that's enjoyable for me, and here we are. And you'll see I make changes along the way, too. Like, I don't stick directly with what I start out with. Like, here, I just wanted the eyes to be a little more jagged and stressed out. So whenever you want stress and anxiety and anger and stuff like that, you always draw lines that are a little more jaggedy and very variable in their line width and stuff. You'll see here I make some changes because at first I was going to have it look like the power was being like drawn in, but then I kind of wanted it to be look like it was exploded out. So I put the small tips towards the potato character, that way they would look like they're being projected outwards instead of inwards. And here I'm just doing some more rocks. It's a pretty typical theme with this video game. There's lots of rocks and stuff and like crackly looking things, and I'm just kind of going along with what the game developers design. I'm not trying to get too original. Like I said, I have a time limit on how much time I can actually spend doing this. And if you saw there, I flipped the image a couple of times back and forth. I did a mirror image flip to see if I saw any glaring issues, which, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical, but I noticed the wings were a little off, symmetrically wise, but I decided to run with it. And using my little selection tool again, I love that thing. It just makes this all so much quicker instead of like trying to just color it all in. And now I'm going in and I'm holding Alt to get rid of those little circles. holding shift here to add these to the rest of the selection. And you'll see there's a couple times where I actually forget to hold shift or something, and I gotta kind of redo everything. But just going through, because all of this is pretty much going to be really similar in color and in value. It's all going to be fairly dark. So I just want to start it all off together. There's deselecting those again, holding Alt. And I actually missed one on the right wing. You'll see me go in with just the eraser tool later on, and I'll erase a hole that's supposed to be in there. You see me keep panning out so I can get an overall view of the whole image. I don't want to get bogged down on details at this point. Just going in here and slapping a color in just for a placeholder so I can go back and change it later. As you see, see right there, I just went back and made it more of like a potato color, obviously. And then I wanted some nice bright colors to denote the power. I'm pretty sure that's about the same color they had in the video game. Really like a bright fuchsia, pinkish purple color. And just slapping those in there. See right here, I had fixed where that hole was supposed to be. Just cleaning up some details, making sure everything looks good. You probably wouldn't noticed it in a thumbnail, but you know, I see it and it bugs me. So here you'll see me going through, and I'm just like putting like an aura of power around the wings, basically like it was in the video game. I'm borrowing pretty heavily from the video game because I want it to look like this moment in the video game where he kind of gets overwhelmed by like this evil power, you know, because he's been so bright and vivid the whole time. Now he's like consumed with the dark, or nearly consumed with the dark. I wanted to add this purple line, a brighter purple. That way it like added some variation, but after I got finished, like you'll see I do some more stuff with the wings, and it almost looks like an embossing effect because of the lines that I put in there. Reflecting back on this, I wish I would have put the brighter color on the outside instead of the inside. But at this point, the video game's already been, or the video game and the artwork for the thumbnail has already been uploaded. So it is what it is. We just roll on, learn from our mistakes, and try to do better next time. And you know, I can always go back in and change it if I really feel like it. But honestly, I don't really care that much. I mean, I care, but, you know, not enough to, I don't know, get that weird about it. And another thing, I added those blue highlights on the wings. Not only add like a power effect, like a triangle power effect coming out from the center, but it also pops his hands, his little fists up in the air out a little bit more. And I'll do more, like I want to generate a power from his fists, showing how like powerful he's becoming, or the new energy that's like enveloping him. Just going through here, adding some flat highlights and stuff, trying not to get bogged down in like value shading and stuff like that. I was playing around here with like that kind of like highlight all over him, but I didn't like it, so I got rid of the stuff in the center because it didn't really make sense to me. And later on I'm gonna be doing his little letters of and words of power or whatever that follow along the hem of his robes. So hey, yeah, here you go. You see me putting in like this power aura from his fists. And like I said earlier, like with his wings, I wish I would have put the brighter color on the outside like I did on his fists there, like his hands. Adding some little stray little orbs of power coming out. Like I said, not getting too bogged down in the details, and you see there, you can see the lines behind his fist for the wings. I eventually go in there and I'll delete those out. That way it doesn't look so weird. I don't think it would have really mattered, but, you know, for my own sanity, I got to do stuff like that sometimes. It's just what I enjoy. Highlighting the eyes, I'm trying to just add the pink power, like he's just being overwhelmed and flooded with it, like it's everywhere throughout him, you know. And here I was trying to play around with putting it on his face, you know, but I didn't like the way it was looking, so I changed the collars to like the normal potato collars and just decided to add some pink highlights here and there. You'll see as I go back in here, like just some of his his potato skin catching the collar. And I made it real harsh, like the collar values on his face, just because it's a very harsh moment. Adding some fluttery, blurry power stuff outside of there, just for some extra value and interest. Highlighting behind the wings a little bit to pop him out, to make him more interesting. And there's the little words and lines of power. I had a lot of fun doing this one. I mean, I picked collars that I normally wouldn't pick. You know, like you got that bright red, and pink, and purples and stuff. I can't remember what kind of collar scheme it is, but they're like all adjacent on the collar wheel. See right there, I forgot to hold the shift button to make sure that I got everything. I think I do it again here, yeah. So I hit Control Z to go back and get my selection back. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the project, and on my other channel, I really enjoyed this video game. It's one of my favorites. It was very, very challenging and very hard. So if you like this type of stuff and, and you enjoy a good platformer challenge, this game is right up your alley. So right here, I'm just going through doing the typical, you know, kind of a messy rock look. I don't want to get too bogged down in details, but I want it to come across slightly realistic. And as you pan out and you got a thumbnail, it does. You know, you don't have to worry about the details so much. But yeah, I had a great time doing this. If you guys have any questions or anything about it, feel free to leave me a comment, you know, or if you like what I'm doing, hit that like button. But if you are watching these and, you know, you interact with them at all, just please let me know what you think. Maybe there's something I'm doing that you think might make things look better, or maybe you like what I'm doing and you want to tell me about it. That'd be awesome. I'd love to hear from anybody who watches these videos, but that's mainly why I do it. I love to hear what people think, and, you know, hopefully I make somebody's day a little bit better. Speaking of, everybody have a fantastic day. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.